morning, everybody. I hope you guys had a good Memorial Day weekend. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Loud Majority Live. Well, you guys see the title of the show. They're here. They're here right under our noses and right in the face is of all the people who did not want this to happen, who didn't vote for this to happen. Stony Brook has begun housing illegal immigrants. This happened over the course of the last 2 days with more to follow. I have that from two sources inside of Stony Brook University letting me know that Stony Brook will continue to house illegal migrants. I will not give up too many details of that on here because Newsday ought to do their job. But they're not. They're not. Their front page story today is bashing Republicans. Which, look, I want to be clear, I do it all the time. I see no problem with bashing local Republicans, particularly ones that are ineffective, particularly ones who allowed this kind of crap to happen. I want to make it very clear as well. I've spoken to several members of the Suffolk County Legislature. This is not on them. This is not on them. And look, I will, someone in the chat says they're not Mike. Okay, I read that wrong, Dina. Sorry about that. Yeah, I've spoken to several of them. This is not on the local legislature. Hell, it's not even so much on Steve Ballone. This is being done over the heads of every single one of them. This is being done by Mayor Eric Adams and Governor Hochul. So for all the people out there who said that I'm not going to vote because it doesn't matter, this is the result of you not voting. For all the people who said I'm going to flee instead of staying and voting for Lee Zeldin, this is the ramifications of that. That's pretty much it. You get down to the bare bones of it. That's it. Now our local colleges, my alma mater, is now a UNICEF refugee camp. And there's a reason why they picked Stony Brook University as opposed to all the other universities. They picked Stony Brook because there's train access, which means that these illegal immigrants will be able to scatter all over the North Shore of Long Island from east to west. It's about, an hour to an hour to Greenport. I mess that up all the time. An hour to Greenport from Stony Brook. It's about an hour and 15 minutes to the city. You catch the express train. We did this. We did this to ourselves. The minute this show is over, I will be going down to Stony Brook University to try to see what is going on. Trisha, I don't believe they are coming to other colleges. I know there was rumor that Dowling was going to be next. However, I don't believe that to be the case because Dowling is closed. I don't know if they can even handle them if they wanted to put them there. The big reason Stony Brook is doing this is because they are being paid. This is not some sort of odd conspiracy with Soros and the World Economic Forum and Davos. It's not about that. No. The state is providing the university with funds to house illegal immigrants. It is a UNICEF refugee camp. And I take no great joy in my next statement. But sure as I'm sitting here, something is going to happen. There's going to be an assault, physical, sexual, on that campus. If you've ever been to Stony Brook University, you know that at night there are a whole lot of very dark areas on your way back from the classrooms to the dorms. Hell, just walking from the library at Stony Brook to the parking lot, to the paid parking lot, incredibly dark. A lot of dark spaces. The bus that takes you from the main campus to the commuter lot, which is pitch dark at night. As sure as I'm standing here, as sure as I'm sitting here, something is going to happen. And that will be on Eric Adams. That will be on Governor Hochul, and that will be on Joe Biden. He did this. Sold you out. And it's ironic, of course, Long Island Newsday's cover story today is how Long Island will be the battleground for the 2024 House elections. And they're right. So we will see what comes of that. We will see which one of them steps up and says something. Says anything. However, I'm fairly certain only one will. And it's the one we're all supposed to hate. This is no longer our island. You grew up on Long Island and you thought this was your home. It's not anymore. It's now El Salvador. What just went in the chat? The clerk will accept written testimony via mail to the clerk's office at the Suffolk County Legislature building. There's as well as regarding voice testimony until the end of the meeting on June 1st. All right. Yes. Regina makes a phenomenal point in the chat. So if they're destroying the hotels in the city, then can we say the dorms will be destroyed? Absolutely. And I want to be clear. Anyone who thinks that these illegals will be cleared out by the time the semester starts in August is living in a fantasy land that I cannot fathom. So far, a few hundred have been dropped off. Reports that I'm getting from inside of Stony Brook are saying it will be up to 6,000. 6,000. And where is our local media? That's a great question. Well, just in case you guys need to know how nauseating the local press is and everything they do, you'll never guess what News 12 top story today is. Is it the migrants? Is it the illegals flooding our universities? Is it, I don't know, the debt ceiling? And how Kevin McCarthy sold out Republicans. Is it that? No, it's not that. It's the fact that Uncle Giuseppe's makes stuffed eggplant. That's what News 12 thought ought be the top story. Uncle Giuseppe's makes stuffed eggplant. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that an Italian meat market makes stuffed eggplant? Guys, there's a reason no one watches you anymore. Stuffed eggplant. That's what News 12, that is the top line story. And if you think I'm lying, there I am scrolling all the way up. News 12 letting us know that Uncle G's has stuffed eggplant. Where is the news? That's why it's so important for you guys to like and share this show. Because I promise you, the people living on your block do not know that the entire North Shore is about to be overtaken by illegal immigrants. The train's right there. It runs all the time. They don't even know it's happening. If you pick up Newsday today, you will have no idea this is happening. If you are watching News 12 right now, you don't know it's happening. However, you do know what the weather is because you know you don't have a window. If you scroll through Twitter accounts of all of our reps, would you know it's happening? No. Oh, you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't know. That's why it's so important for you guys to like this video, share this video, invite your friends to like the page. That's the 3 dots right on the top of the page. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick on here to show you guys how to do that. So that, if you guys have anybody who lives in the 3 Village area, just know that 6,000 new people are about to come to Long Island. Here's what you got to do. You go on your Facebook page. You hit these 3 dots right here. Oh, nope. Sorry. Go on your Facebook page. Let me try that again. Haha. Hit these three little dots right here on the Loud Majority Facebook page. Hit invite friends. Invite your friends to like the page. If you're watching on Rumble, hit that follow button right there. Hit the like button at the bottom of the screen and share this video out. Because and look, I say it a lot. I say it all the time that you're not going to hear this information anywhere else. But right now, literally, if you are not sending this, look, there's a couple hundred people watching this, and I thank every single one of you. But right now, if you're not watching this, you don't know. Not only will your friends not know that this was going to happen, but they won't know that it's already happened. Already happened. It's disgusting. This happened right under our noses, and nobody cared. No one said a thing. Unbreakable is right. There will be more illegal immigrants at Stony Brook University than some towns on Long Island have populations. I'm going to try to get as much footage from there as humanly possible once this show is over today, because nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to care what's happening here. A total media blackout. Let's pull up news. You know what? Let's pull up Newsday to see what they think is important. All the writers in the world that crawl up my ass every time I have eggs for breakfast. What do they think is important? Let's see. Key House races. Of course, we're going to slander Republicans in it. Let's move on to the next page. A kid from Great Neck is going to be in a spelling bee. That's on page 4. Let's see. Something about this new casino that nobody wants. Oh, yeah, and we're not going to change the name of the Mario Cuomo Bridge. That is what Newsday finds important. That's what Newsday finds important. A lot of people are asking, what can you do? Look, if you have a Republican representative in Albany, I know they're fighting tooth and nail. I know they're fighting tooth and nail to stop this from happening. But if you have a Democratic rep, I'm talking about Assembly, I'm talking about Senate, don't call their offices. Go to them. Scare the shit out of these people. We do not want them here. And they are already there. They're already there. And as I said, I take no great joy in saying this, but as sure as I'm sitting here, something's going to happen. And when it does, who will be held accountable? No one. No one will be. Our island is no longer our island. It now belongs to the government of Honduras, to the government of El Salvador, whatever the hell that even is. If you have a Democratic rep, go to them. Break their balls. Don't let them off the hook. Boy, why are you talking? What is D. Bella saying? Yeah, I'm talking them to come block the buses or put them... Yeah, I don't know what the first half of that means. We need to turn the buses around and send them back to Adams. Yep. I wish we would. But that's going to require law enforcement to put some sort of pressure on these people, and I don't know. I don't know if legally they can do it, See, the problem with what Democrats end up doing is that oftentimes so many of their policies are so ambiguous. They just make things up as they go along. And Republicans, we follow the law, which puts us at a disadvantage nationally, statewide, and locally. We follow the law. Something's going to happen. And by then it'll be too late. By then it will be far, far too late. They did it right under our noses. You guys were enjoying your Memorial Day weekend. and they shipped them in. We knew they were going to do it. The school allowed it. If you have kids at Stony Brook in the SUNY system, you have to pull them out. Send them to, if they don't want to leave, if they don't want to go away, send them to Hochul. Send them to St. Joe's. You got to pull your kids. The state does not care if your daughter's raped. They don't care if your son gets jumped for his iPhone. We don't know who these people are. They haven't been vetted. I'm sure the majority of them haven't been vaccinated like your children had to be to attend this school. I know many of you pulled your kids out of the schools because of that mandate. However, if you came here from Costa Rica or Iran or Pakistan or China, you can live on the Stony Brook campus rent-free, get everything you want paid for, while the university makes more money off of them, and you don't have to have any sort of requirements whatsoever. Guys, Democrats don't care about you. And sure, yeah, when they had that legislative meeting the other day, there were like 9 idiots led by Shoshana Herskowitz, one of the genuinely dumbest and worst people I know. Hate has no home here. Really? How many of them are going to live with you? How many of them are you taking into your home? Are you going to house a gaggle of military-aged El Salvadorian males in your house? Sarah Tully, huh? You gonna? Because guess what? That train station, that train track, runs right outside this office, right through Smithtown, right through Northport, all the way into Nassau, Jericho, Great Neck, into the city. They're going to scatter. And no one will have any idea where they went, why they're there. It's, look, fine. And there's some people saying that they can't pull their kids out of, some people can't pull their kids out of, and look, I get it. If you can't pull your kids out of a student, they are cheap. Look, I went to Stony Brook. Put them in a different one. Put them in a different one. We see what happens when we boycott things as conservatives. Bud Light goes down 40%. Target drops 15%. A combined $31 billion. Let's do it to the colleges. Let's do it to the colleges. All over Long Island. And as sure as I'm standing here, something's going to happen. And it makes me absolutely sick. It makes me absolutely sick that nobody feels the need to cover this. Now, one person. I got Fox on my TV right now. Because I can't get Newsmax on whatever I have. What's Brian Kilmeade talking about? He's talking about the softness of Ron DeSantis' ass. That's what Fox News is talking about. But we allowed it to happen. Janet's absolutely right. Stony Brook, I don't want to say how much they are getting or give too many details because I obviously don't want to out my sources there. But Stony Brook is, in fact, receiving far more per migrant than they would from their tuition. And quite frankly, from a financial standpoint, I get why they're doing it. From a moral standpoint, from a legal standpoint, from a common sense standpoint, it makes absolutely no sense. The administration at Stony Brook allowed this to happen. Our home is no longer our home, people. We did this. We allowed it to happen. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But There's more news to get to. I want to talk about this student at the City University of New York who hates Jews and thinks it's okay to talk about it in public and think that it's okay to slander an entire country that is not only an ally, but we're going to talk about rabid anti-Semitism going on in our college universities. It's amazing. Why didn't Eric Adams and Kathy Hochul store these illegal immigrants at the CUNY schools? That's a good question. That's a very good question. But, no, yeah, Janet's fired up. I'll be heading down to Stony Brook University at 9:15 a.m. If anybody wants to drive around, my friend is working at the Roosevelt Hotel. Oh, yeah, the Roosevelt Hotel is also filled up with illegals. I'll be on the west side of campus, and you guys can, everyone knows what car I drive if anybody wants to pop over there. I'll be there for a couple hours trying to figure out what exactly all that is going on. If anybody wants to pop in, I'll be over there at about 9 o'clock, right after the show. But before I dive into this insane woman who thinks that, I love when I hear, American white women talk about socialism, because I never get to hear it from Venezuelans or Cubans or Vietnamese or North Koreans. I hear about it from liberal white women. Just the same way as when I hear liberal white women talk about the Israel-Palestine issue. I think that's hilarious, doing it in the safe confines of Queens. But before we get to that, a quick word from Mike Lindell.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets, sleepwear, dog beds.
Whoa, Charles. Everyone now can get MyPillow products at huge discounts at MyPillow.com. That's right. Now's the time to go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our 3-in-1 sale. We're bringing you exciting new products, overstock specials, and closeout deals you won't find anywhere else. For example, when you buy one of our brand new MyPillow 2.0s, you get another one absolutely free. And with our overstock sale, you save 50% on our luxurious Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.99 for the best sheets ever. And with our biggest closeout special, you get our all-season slippers for only $35. Or our sandals and slides for just $25. Quantities are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Guys, please do support the people who support this show. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD for up to 80% off everything on the website. That's MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. I want to thank Mike Lindell for supporting the work that we're doing over here. Please do support him. It helps this network. It helps us keep the lights on. I just had to go spend like $2,000 in new equipment to be able to cover the Stony Brook stuff for you guys. So please do. If you're going to get MyPillow stuff, make sure you use promo code LOUD for up to 80% off everything on the website. Thank you so much to the great Mike Lindell. So we got to talk about this CUNY law student. Now, this CUNY law student will probably get a job working in some Soros-funded DA's office. She had an interesting take on the Jews. She had an interesting take on the Jews, which is interesting because, all you hear is about right-wing anti-Semitism. You hear, even though none of it exists, except in the small faction of the idiots out there like Kanye West. But somehow Dianne Feinstein and Jerry Nadler, all of the Democratic Jewish reps, they seem to not want to cover Dan Goldman, who is a hack. Apparently none of them wanted to speak on this wonder who wants to talk about the glories of Palestine, which isn't a place. It's never been a place. Wants to talk about the glories of Palestine while living in America, the freest country in the world, while all she does is bitch and moan. Here she is.
In this moment, of celebrating who we are, I want to celebrate CUNY Law as one of the few, if not the only law school, to make a public statement defending the right of its students to organize and speak out against Israeli settler colonialism. That this is the law school that passed and endorsed BDS on a student and faculty level. Recognizing that absent a critical imperialism, settler colonialism lens, our work and this school's mission statement is void of value. That as Israel continues to indiscriminately rain bullets and bombs on worshipers, murdering the old, the young, attacking even funerals and graveyards, as it encourages lynch mobs to target Palestinian homes and businesses, as it imprisons its children, as it continues its project of settler colonialism, expelling Palestinians from their homes, carrying the ongoing Nakba, that our silence is no longer acceptable. We are the student body and faculty that fought back when investor-focused admin attempted to cross the BDS picket line, saying loud and clear that Palestine can no longer be the exception to our pursuit of justice, that our morality will not be purchased by investors.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But this is what's being taught at our law schools. This coming from the New York Post. One of the deans who stood up and applauded this nonsense coming out of the CUNY Law School was among those who applauded the recently hateful speech delivered by a graduate, previously spearheaded the creation of a race-related coursework requirement at her last job. Well, let's dive a little bit into this. Before being tapped as the head of the CUNY Law School last July, Sudaha Seti, who has a history of advocating for, quote, social justice lawyering, whatever the hell that means, has spent 4 years leading the Western New England University legal faculty in Massachusetts and another 12 years as a faculty member. In her role as the dean, Seti was behind the establishment of, quote, anti-racism and cultural competency, a graduation requirement for the university students. The graduating requirement, which was adopted by the law school in April of 2021, includes courses titled Race, Racism, and the Law and Business Law from an Anti-Racist Perspective. Of course, we know Anti-Racism is the nonsense book written by race grifter Ibram Kendi, page 13. The only remedy to past discrimination is current discrimination, and the only remedy to current discrimination is future discrimination. That's not me saying it. That is a direct quote from the book How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi, page 13. I read it so you guys didn't have to. After starting out at the Big Apple-based Davis Polk Hardwell law firm, she worked from 1999 to 2006. A majority of Seti's legal career has been rooted in educating upcoming lawyers. Of course, her career has been educating upcoming lawyers because that's what they do. They infiltrate the law schools. These people become assistant district attorneys, and then they eventually run for district attorney. Alvin Bragg, Kesa Bodine, George Gascon, Kim Fox. You guys know the names. They've been all over the news. Hell, 2 members of the Weather Underground that set off a bomb at the Capitol building and were on the FBI's most wanted list teach at the University of Chicago Law School. Bernadine Dorn and Bill Ayers. And what else did they do? They raised Kesa Bodine, who went on to be the San Francisco district attorney. And that's why you can shit in the street in San Francisco, and nobody seems to mind, because we elected the child of terrorists to be the top law enforcement officer in one of America's, let's be honest, most expensive, most beautiful, and largest cities. San Francisco is gorgeous, or it could be, before Casa Bodine made it legal to take a dump in the street. Before people like Alvin Bragg destroyed New York by allowing open-air drug dens in the middle of Washington Square Park. This is what happens when you allow bad DAs in. And DAs tend to fall under the radar. Nobody really knows about them until they get into office. Until Kim Foxx allows Jussie Smollett to get off on felonies for committing a fake race crime by volunteering at Jesse Jackson's charity. It's all over the country. In August of 2022, a profile published on CUNY's website promoting her new role as the dean, Seti, a Columbia Law School grad, noted the best part about being dean was helping to lead other educators in fulfilling a law school's mission. Quote, at CUNY, that mission is social justice lawyering and tackling structural barriers to justice that exist in so many contexts. Being part of those endeavors is a gift, and I work with this, and I come to work with this gratitude. She said, asked if she hoped to accomplish CUNY Law School's dean, Seti said she wanted to promote, quote, more leaders who are doing important social justice work in the law. Here's the thing about justice. It doesn't need a modifier. Social justice just means not justice. Because justice is fine on its own. Well, you can't be very justice. Justice stands on its own. Anytime you put a modifier on it, it no longer becomes its intended goal. It no longer becomes its intended goal. But that's what we have. That's who we have teaching one of New York's largest law schools. And that is why Democrats operate under lawfare as opposed to warfare. We're sitting here talking about protests and writing letters, and I got to hear from elected Republicans that they're writing strongly worded letters like Lindsey Graham, while crazy communists like this woman take over our top institutions. Strongly. If I hear one more person tell me that they've written a strongly worded letter, I'm going to snap. Because here's what happens to your strongly worded letter. Do I have something to throw? Leadership gets your strongly worded letter and throws it away. But that is what the old guard does. Not what the new guard is up to. So I did just want to talk about that real quick. Do I have anything else? I don't think I have anything else. But why is Florida so terrible? I don't know. At least the governor's not taking any illegals and sending them back to New York. Hey, look, I don't blame Governor DeSantis. I don't blame Governor Abbott. I don't blame Governor Tate. We asked for this by not getting Lee Zeldin elected. By New York City being disgusting. We voted for this. Only 57% of Suffolk County coming out for Lee Zeldin. We voted for this. Only 53% of Nassau County coming out for Lee Zeldin. We did this. It's time for us to take responsibility. Because if we take responsibility, then we can change it. I was watching something the other day with Dr. Jordan Peterson, who is a real idol of mine. If you guys haven't read the book, 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos, I would suggest every human being go and read that book. It had a profound impact on my life. Go watch Dr. Peterson's lectures on YouTube. But he talks about the role of rights and responsibilities. Everyone wants to talk about their rights, what your rights are. But not enough people talk about what the hell? Polska 45. Hotter, boring. I don't know what the hell that means. But Dr. Jordan Peterson talks about the difference between rights and responsibility. People want to talk about what their rights are. But what is their responsibility? Okay? The more responsibility you take on, the more right you have to talk about your rights. And I have a responsibility to protect your rights, and you have a responsibility to protect my rights. That is how the system is meant to be set up. That is why government doesn't give you rights. Government protects rights. The government's responsibility is to protect the rights that you were born with. My responsibility is to protect your rights, and your responsibility is to protect mine. That's the way I view this stuff. And I think that's the way we all need to view it. 100%. This is only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse before it gets better. So remember something. Come our local elections, which we are now in the throes of. What will you do to get your candidate elected? I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm not telling you who to go help out. But what will you do? Will you be willing to spend a Saturday knocking on doors for your particular candidate? Or will you go to the beach? Will you be able to give up a couple hours at night? And not everyone can dedicate their lives to this like I did. I find myself incredibly lucky to be able to do this. But not everyone can do that. What are you willing to do? If you can give 1 hour, give 2. If you can give 2, give 3. What are you willing to do? How many voters are you willing to register? That's my question. That's my question, and that is my challenge to each and every one of you as we pull up on 9 o'clock. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you stay tuned next on Rumble, rumble.com/LFATV. If you're not subscribed over there, please do subscribe for Jeremy Harrell's Morning Prayer. Rise up. It's a phenomenal show. You guys aren't going to want to miss that. It's a nice uplifting way to start the day. That's rumble.com/LFATV. It's starting in a couple minutes. I'm going to throw it in the live chat if you guys wouldn't mind going over and just hitting that subscribe button over there. Really helps the channel grow. It is the largest, fastest growing conservative news outlet anywhere, maybe in the world, but certainly on Rumble. I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in. I'm on my way to Stony Brook right now. Let's see what's going on. Guys. I'll see you guys back at 1 o'clock, rumble.com/LFATV for Loud Majority Live. Until then, everybody, stay loud.